What's going on, guys? T2RX6 here, back for another Transformers review, and today we're taking a look at the Generations Roadbuster, and he's like a Baja off-road truck, and he's pretty cool looking. Like, I really dig the alt mode here. It's just very armored looking off-road truck. Rolls great, you know, no problems there. Really not too much to say about it. The colors, they just nailed it. Really like it. The thing that's peculiar is that they've made these circular ports hexagonal now, and I don't find that they all work. Like, some of the guns have trouble pegging in to certain ones of them, like it's a little bit tight on various ones. Others it works just fine, so I don't know what the deal is there. Now, inside the box you get the sticker sheet, which most of these stickers to me aren't all that interesting. He's not really a G.I. Joe, so I don't feel I need the electrical or, you know, the no handholds or the battery inside. So I didn't really put any of them on, and actually most of them are not cut right either. So like this one goes on and it's supposed to go right across here, but it's too large for that little space, so you have the plastic hanging over and it just looks awful. So all I did was put the Autobot one on. I was torn between that and the Wreckers one, but I figured the Autobot one is more generic. So yeah, that's all I put on. Now the box touts customizable weapons, and you get a lot of weapons here. Some of them I don't even know exactly what they are. And then of course the missile for the missile launcher. But who cares about missiles, right? Look, it fires. It works. So this is all your weapon stuff. There's not... yeah. It kind of does the whole thing like that BMOG thing where you can kind of peg things into things, you know, in ways to, you know, make some kind of whatever this actually would be. I don't know what you would call it, but yeah, you can customize your weapons that way. To me, it ends up feeling like there's just way too much stuff, and like you're left with this piece by itself. What is it, and why is there a really sharp, jagged piece of plastic there that has actually given me a small cut, mind you, but you know, certainly, you know, for kids playing with it, it should be, you know, the sprue should have been filed down better than it was. You can see it right there where I'm bending it away. So it's just a sharp, jagged corner on this thing. And the way it comes in the box is kind of like this. So I guess it's your scope for your rifle. And then this piece here has this odd little cutout on it. So it's kind of like, I don't know, maybe like a pulse rifle. And then you can put this in and it becomes this enormous gun that is unwieldy that I suppose you could put this on. Maybe now it's a sniper rifle, I guess. Sure, you know what? Sniper rifle. Here's going to be the back stock of it. And yeah, then we're just left with this. So sure, if you use your imagination, you can customize. But when it comes to actually putting the stuff on the car, it just feels like, you know, way too much. The gun is too big for the front of the car, in my opinion. Maybe you like it that way. Maybe this is a smokestack or an exhaust pipe. We can put the rocket launcher on this side, one of the guns on this side, and then the missile pod on this side. So I mean, he's got plenty of holes to put things in and make it all work, but to me it just feels like too much. One or two pieces here would be more than sufficient for me. So before we actually go and take this guy to his robot mode, let's just pull out all these weapons and bring in, I guess, what would be his closest competitor, which is the Fans Project one. And honestly, the colors on the Hasbro one just nail Roadbuster more than the Fans Project one. Of course, the Fans Project one does have the perk of being slightly more Roadbuster-like in that it's a car with the open front to accommodate a driver and, you know, whatever. But this is still really cool for the price. So let's get Roadbuster here transformed, and you start by kind of separating the back like this. And this is probably the part that worried me the most, and it's not perfect. There is a big hollows here, pretty much because it has to be from the transformation. you do get to fold the wheels in, which do hide it a little bit better. So it ends up looking better in person than I think it looks in the pictures, but it's not flawless, and he's got tiny little feet, that's for sure. And a serial number. But yeah, I mean, it's better in person than it was in pictures as far as I could tell. So there's 90% of the actual transformation done. Let's tilt the camera up, and he's having trouble standing right now because he's still back heavy because of everything else leaning off his back. So the next thing to do is to unpeg the arms here and fold this entire assembly up like this, and then we can actually take the arms, rotate them around. Good ratchets. So like that, come to the top of the car, fold these things on in like so, and then fold this on down, and you got Roadbuster. Super simplistic transformation. The only thing left to do was to unpeg his arms from the shoulder joints here. But yeah, I mean, that's Roadbuster, and he's, you know, he feels very beefy. The colors look right. The head is not terrible. It's not the greatest I've seen. Yeah, it's not terrible. I would have liked maybe less of the Predator look going on, but hey, it's pretty okay. And for his feet here, if you're having trouble getting them to stand, just make sure you kind of bend the ankles back a little like this to distribute the weight a little bit better, and he should stand up okay for you. Maybe not. He's not standing up for me right now. He was standing earlier. There we go. Now he's standing. So you can see, and it does, from certain angles he looks a lot worse than he is, but overall he's really not too terrible. So let's actually talk about his articulation here, and actually let's get a little close up of his head here. You can see the eyes are actually green. They're just too dark to see right now. Would have liked a more classic Roadbuster head, I think, but yeah, still pretty good. I have no problems with this guy as he is. So articulation, head is on a swivel. The arms, as you saw, you got the rotation out, which is nice and beefy, so it should hold any of his weapons. Rotation all the way around, which does look a little weird upside down, but I don't know why you do that anyway. Swivel at the bicep. The actual elbow joint is double jointed, so real nice range of motion out of there, but only one of them is actually ratcheted, so expect this one to fall down fairly easy. So pretty much rely on this lower joint here. No wrist articulation, no waist articulation on this guy, which is a little bit of a bummer. Now coming down to the legs, you got the ratcheted universal joints here. It is limited by this side armor piece. It will hit the side of him, so he's not gonna doing any perceptor kicks or anything like that. The hardest piece of articulation on this guy is this thigh swivel, which does give you a little bit of room to move the foot down here, but it is a little bit hard to articulate. Knee is double jointed knee, but limited by how that wheel sits. And then you have all kinds of ankle articulation because it can rotate all the way around like that, you know, on the swivel here, the swivel here. So plenty of things you can do to try to get his foot in a position that works. Ultimately though, it feels like the legs come up just a touch shy. Like I wish there was like a knee swivel as opposed to this thigh swivel, because there's just, I want to move his legs a little bit more than maybe, you know, he is, to make him stand a little bit nicer, and I feel like he's hindered a little, but it's not too terrible. Overall, I actually do enjoy this figure quite a bit. So let's go ahead and raise the camera first and try to get this stupid tripod to lock in place. Here is your fans project guy, so you can see the fans project does sit a pretty significant height difference on there, and The one thing I really like about this guy over the Fans Project is I wish this chest piece, like, see where the green pieces here on the Fans Project guy are? If these were orange, I think he would look a lot better, including these little side pieces down here. Just kind of extend this chest out. The broadness of the Hasbro toy I prefer, actually. So let's actually get this guy armed up here, because like I said, customizable weapons. So the first thing always has to go on, in my opinion, the missile launcher. And I particularly like him doing the Predator style thing, so I put this one on the shoulder like that. I might as well put the other rocket launcher on the other side, which then leaves these two here. I'll put these on the side pegs like this. And then the last piece we have is, of course, the rifle and this pipe thing. So we'll just go ahead and make that like a sniper rifle, or a scoped rifle, I should say. And there we go. He's completely armed to the teeth, and you know, he's not bad. I could actually do with only a couple of the pieces, like I said. You can mix match, make one big gun, whatever you want to do, but it's a nice chunk of playability. I just don't think that it works out quite as nicely as I would have hoped it would. So let's get him transformed back to his vehicle mode. And I did want to point out one thing that I find a little disheartening is with respect to the Leader Jetfire toy that's coming out. This guy in the Leader Jetfire feels almost the same weight. It's kind of crazy to think about it because there's such a price difference. But anyway, we'll talk about Jetfire another day. Let's get all this put back. So you can see I plugged the arms back into the shoulder pieces here. And you want these to be upwards like this and as straight in as possible. Next thing we can do, make sure the head is straight. Unplug the front of the car. Flip these little pieces back on out to appropriately make the bumper. Come back down here and rotate this whole assembly on in, like so. Then we'll come back and make sure that our hands are plugged into the appropriate little ports. You see the channel here, and then there's some up there. Just make sure it's all plugged in so it fits snugly together, like so. Perfection. Now we come down to the feet. We'll flip the wheels back out. Flip the feet like this, so you have like a straight line going on the foot here. There we go. We can now peg these together, and in usual fare, just rotate these forward and then peg the front and back halves of the car together like so. There we go, back in his truck, and I gotta say, super easy transformation. Kind of expect a little bit more out of something of this price range, but it's not bad. It works. It's a good Roadbuster. I still prefer the Fans Project one, but this one's not bad, and I'm not upset with the purchase. So this is T2RX6. I hope you guys enjoyed the review. I'll see you next time.